Sarah McGuire is here for her annual Sarah's Signature Cocktail, and Nikki Hale is our royal taster today, too.
Yes.
Good
I'm
morning.
so lucky.
How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
You are, for the radio viewers, she is wearing reindeer antlers.
Yes.
And you, Nikki Hale, is wearing a sort of a festive holiday cap. I'm wearing my Lansing Catholic Cougars hat because
Also
they
festive.
are playing at 1 o'clock against Almont, another undefeated team in Ortonville at Brandon High School. And if they win, they go to Ford Field Thanksgiving
Go
weekend for the
Cougars.
state title.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you know that yesterday was the release of the Beaujolais Nouveau,
Yes.
which we make a big deal of around here.
Yes.
And I have a feeling you're cooking something up here.
Yes.
Mixing something
Yes.
up.
So I was really undecided about what to bring in today until I heard your show yesterday about the Beaujolais. And that sealed the deal for me. And so when coming up with a cocktail for the Beaujolais, I looked up some different recipes, and I found one from Food and Wine that was called a Beaujolais Cobbler with a raspberry shrub. Wow. Well, this raspberry shrub called for macerating the raspberries for 3 days prior, and I was like, ain't nobody got time for that. I can't. No. So I looked up the recipe, and actually it's really interesting. A cobbler. Have you ever heard one?
The pie that you
No,
had.
yeah. So this is actually like a drink. And it started back in the early 1800s, and it became really popular because it featured two new products, ice and straws.
At the
so
time.
it became a worldwide sensation.
Wow.
So that I thought, well, that's kind of cool. So I decided I'd make that for us today.
Cobblers, Nikki, is kind of a dirty word to say in England, isn't it?
Can be, depending on the context.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So the cobbler it's a kind of like a sangria, really. I couldn't help but feel like that.
Sure.
And so it calls for a wine, like originally it was a sherry, but I'm substituting the Beaujolais.
Yes.
Some sugar and some orange slices. So instead of doing just regular sugar, though, I did want to make it a little bit fancy. So I actually created a mint simple syrup. Do you guys know how to make simple syrup?
Of course not.
Okay, so it's
You do,
just
though.
equal. I do. It's equal parts sugar and equal parts water, and you just boil that down, make sure it's all dissolved, and then at the end, after it's boiled, you just throw in some mint leaves and let them kind of steep.
Steep. I'm going to write down all these words. Macerate,
Yes.
steep.
Very good learning curve. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's much simpler to make than I thought. The 3-day process of making the raspberries. So anyway, I've got in my martini shaker. I've got some ice. I also have a couple of orange slices. I threw in some pomegranate seeds and some cranberries as well because it calls for some additional fruits. And then I'm going to dump my mint
Right there.
simple syrup and
Here comes the
about a
Beaujolais.
cup of wine. Few good glugs there, right?
Yep.
Sounded
All right.
perfect.
Yes, it did. It did.
You're gonna give it a
You're
shake?
gonna give it a good shake.
15 seconds is a proper shake. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Gilberto at the Duke's Hotel taught me that.
I'm learning
He's the number
something,
one
too.
martini maker in the world in London. And
Is that 15 seconds?
Yeah,
is
sure.
the proper shake.
TV time.
Dog ears.
Pour that right on into the cup.
Oh, look at it pour into the ice like that.
Yes.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful.
It's
a
very
really-
color.
pretty, very festive.
a
Perfect.
holiday-looking drink, isn't
It
it?
is, yes.
And you're supposed to garnish it with seasonal berries. So I chose, like I said, pomegranate seeds and cranberries.
I'm going for the
And,
taste. Am I ready for the? Can we ready
Go
for the
for
taste?
it. Yeah. Give her a whirl. I like it because you really get the flavor of the wine still. I
I
think
taste the mint too.
The mint gives it a nice green flavor. And it is similar to a sangria, but I tried to make it a little more holiday with some of the berries. And I think pear might be nice.
I
for
think
this
what
one.
you should do is go over to your Aunt Molly Pritchard's and make this with her while she's making all her Tisket, Tasket, Lansing baskets.
I agree. I think that the baskets would look really good after we
With a bottle
enjoy
of
a couple
one
of
of
these.
these. Yeah.
Tisket,
Mhm.
Tasket, Lansing.com. She does all those
Yes.
custom baskets.
She does.
And, you've seen them, very
They're great.
creative. And this is
Mhm.
very creative too.
Yes, thank you.
So your Facebook page is coming soon.
It is coming soon. I'm putting pictures. I actually have last week's recipe on there. I'll put this week's
Okay.
recipe up
What
there.
is the name of it?
Sarah's Signature Cocktails.
Sarah's
Yes.
Signature Cocktails.
Love it.
S-A-R-A.
SRAH.
You put the
I'm
H.
With an
going to
H.
go on there and like it right
Very
now.
It's with an
Yes.
H.
Thank you.
Nikki. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you
Drink
for
up,
having
ladies
me.
and gentlemen. Sarah McGuire, Sarah's Signature Cocktail.